Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I am working on some photos from Seattle. These are all from the Chihuly Garden and Glass complex. The artist is Dale Chihuly. This is what he does, it's magnificent. And I have been there twice before this trip, so this was my third time, but I love it every time because I just love his work. But I got these great photos, and originally when I printed them, I think my thought was, I'm going to do them 4x3 horizontally and use an insert that has those pockets. But at least over the last couple months or so, it's been extremely difficult to find those inserts anymore where you just have two horizontal 4x3s. So I think maybe Simple Stories is not making them anymore. I could make my own with my fuse, but it's a pain. So I decided to switch over to this kind of page protector instead. So I've got a 4x6 slot up top, and then I've got this sort of, it's somewhat unusual. It's a 2x4 pocket, and you don't see that often. And I find many times that the best use for this is sequins. So I think that's my plan here. And luckily, these are going back to back and they match. So I can use anything that's in here for sequin colors and it'll match. So that's awesome. But now I'm wondering, do I just want to like sit these on top of each other like that on both sides and just make them into a 4x6 and then add sequins? That seems kind of easy. I just don't want it to be boring. But then also, if I don't do that, how do I cut them down to make an actual layout and still have it look good? I'm not sure. So this one might take a little longer today, not only because I'm adding sequins and that's a whole extra step. My fuse tool is heating as I speak, so I've got that started. But the rest of this, I just don't know. In looking at all the photos, I'm wondering if for this side, I could maybe do a background that's this kind of orchid color. I love that shade of purple, and it doesn't really appear anywhere else. So I probably wouldn't do sequins for that, but I could do a background here, and I think I could get away with it, and then do a different color on the other side, or just completely leave this one as a 4x6 and then there's no background. But I have grabbed out my purple scraps to see, do I have a 4x6 piece that will fit in there? And this is actually a card. I cut it and left the card because I got excited about that. I'm like, oh, that's pretty close, but it's for a card, so I can't use that one. But I have other things in here, and maybe one of those shades of purple will be okay. I did find two shades of purple that I really like. I found this one. I love the color, but this is too much. Normally I would love that pattern, but not with this. This is so busy to have this, even if it's only showing like a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 inch as a border. Like, I just think that's too much. It's too busy. So I think this is going to be the winner. It's plain, but look, I think it's a pretty good color match there. And this piece, I don't remember what I cut it for. It's got a little bit of a dent here, which is great because it's a little too big. I can just cut that off, so I won't have to use that, but I salvage the rest, which is always my goal. I hate cutting into a totally new piece of paper for a smaller size. So I'd rather use a scrap whenever possible. All right, so this piece of paper is 4.5 by 6.5. So I just need to trim it down a little bit, just 1/2 inch, which isn't bad. So there we go. And then I can do this way to get it to 6. And there we go. Now it's ready to be used. Because these are 4x3s, I think I'm just going to cut off a 1/4 of an inch. So you're going to end up really not even seeing much of this in the background, but I'm totally fine with that. Just need a little bit around the outside. All right, so I trimmed the photos down to where I want them. And originally I thought maybe I needed to cut off more because I wanted space between them, but I don't think I actually do. I kind of like it like this when they're just together like that, but then you still get the border. So I think at least on this side, that's how I'm gonna put that together. I have these adhered now, and I want to add something over here because there's some dead space. And I think I'm going to look through my DIY travel embellishments to see what I have in here that might work with this, because I have all kinds of colors. But then I do also have all of my different bags of ephemera by color, so I can do that. I also have my phrase labels, so if I had to, I could certainly go into those, and I have those in every color as well, so I know I'll find something. Sadly, all of my DIY embellishments are too big for this space. I really need something very small. And I thought I had smaller ones in here, but I guess not. This is probably like the smallest size of the circle I use. And of course the tags and the pennants are bigger, so I should have known that. But you know what? I thought I'd try anyway. Now I know. So I'm going to go into my phrase labels and find something there instead. All right, I have found a phrase I like. I actually decided to go with kind of the aqua or turquoise color because it is in there. You can see it in both of those photos. And I want to do this one. Totally digging this, but it's a little too long. I would like more space between here and here. So I think I want to put in a staple on the left side. So I kind of have to keep most of that. But here I can just trim off right after the period at the end of the phrase there. That buys me a little space. So let's see what I think. That's better. I mean, it does give me some more room. I could maybe shave off a little bit on this side too. There we go. Let's see. Yes, I like that better. I just like having a little bit more breathing room between those two things. Voila, there we go. This part is done. So that's awesome. Now I need to work on these. And I kind of like the idea of doing the same thing, but just with a different color in the background. So looking at this, maybe I could do a yellow background because I've got yellow over here. I've got it here, but it's not like a ton. So having a yellow accent might be the way to go. For this one, I actually have two options here that I have pulled out of my scraps. And this one, it does have a pattern. Now the other one did too, but this is way more subtle. When you put this against it, it's not horrible by any means. So if I wanted to just jazz it up a little bit and have that, I could do it. But I also have just this plain yellow. And this would be completely fine as well. So I'm wondering, like, should I really make them match and just use the no pattern background, or should I jazz it up a little bit with this? I'm not sure. So I'm going to go off camera, figure out which one I like better, and then I'll go from there. I decided to go with just the plain background, and I've already cut it down, so it's 4x6. That's all good to go. Now I have to cut down the photos and then adhere those to the background. Okay, now I have the other side put together. So they'll be back to back. Purple this side, yellow this side. And again, I have some space to fill. This is kind of too busy. It's full already. But up here, I can do something. So probably just another small phrase label like this, but it'll be up top. And I'm thinking maybe green. Don't remember if I have anything that really stands out to me in my green phrases, but there's a lot of them. So there's got to be something in there. I definitely found the phrase that I want to use. It's not quite this green. I was hoping for more of like a lighter, almost neon, which it isn't. It's more of just a regular old green, but I love what it says. It says, okay, this is officially our favorite place. And that's true. We both really loved it. It was her first time, and you know, I had been there before, but one of our favorite things we did in Seattle for sure. So I think I'm just going to put that one up there. There isn't a whole lot of space there, but I'm going to try to squeeze a staple in at the end. I was able to get a staple in there barely at the end, but now that's in. And now I can do the really fun part, which is pick out my sequins for the bottom pocket. This is what I have so far. I know I'm going to use this mix. It's got yellow and white in it, which is perfect. This one, which is a mix of different like aqua colors. And then sadly, I've realized I don't have a lot of green options. I must have used a lot of what I had because I really don't have anything that's perfect for this. These are green leaves, which obviously this is very plant focused here. That's what it's supposed to look like, but I'm not sure I'm crazy about that. And then I have these, which are like little vines. It's kind of hard to see in the container. There you go. So you can kind of see like they're little vines. And again, this is supposed to be sort of nature themed, but I'm not sure I like that on some of these. I'm trying to even put it up on the photo and it gets lost. So I'm not sure that I'm going to use that. So I'm kind of disappointed here. I may have to throw in a couple of those and just make do with it because the only other green mix I have is way too dark. It's like a hunter green, which definitely is not what this is. So Lesson learned too, that when I use stuff, replenish it, because here I was thinking I had some better green options and I do not. You can see this is what I have so far with those three. And then I realized I don't have red in there, but there's a lot of red in these photos. So I've pulled out these. I also have a sequin. It's more of a matte and it's a disc and it looks like a record almost. It has grooves in it. I didn't feel that was quite right. I liked this better because of the shiny aspect. So I'm going to put some in here. I don't want a ton though. That might even be enough. Let's shake it up here. See what we get. Is that enough? Maybe a little more. Let's try that. All right, I think that's better. I'm going to put that in there and see what I think. All right, there you can see the mix together. I think it goes well with all of these. And now I'm extra glad that I did a purple background. While there isn't any purple in here, I don't think I need it to be, actually. Like, I've got 4 colors working in here already. Like, that's enough. And it brings out all the others, especially that green. I wasn't sure about it, but I like it now that I see it because it is a very close match to this. So now I can seal this pocket and put it all together. Here it is all put together. My pocket sealed down here. This is the front. Oh, I'm a little crooked there. There we go. Front. That's the back side. And I love the way that turned out. So here's another one finished for Seattle. Thanks for watching.